Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Good morning. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. And welcome to the live match preview between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, which will be played on Saturday, guys. We're getting geared up for the game, which is ultimately a very, very important game. As like every single game is for Manchester United, isn't it? Especially from this day forward. The most important game is the next game, of course. That's what it's all about, guys. And we're playing Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday. Fantastic. Can't wait for it. Just wish the game was tomorrow, but we have to wait until Saturday, of course, guys. Now, let's get straight into the Manchester United versus Tottenham preview. Now, look, you know what? I always like reminiscing about the past when it comes to these games. I always like talking about Man United games of the past and how it used to be and the great games that we had. I mean, I remember Tottenham Hotspur in the 98-99 season when we had to beat them in the last game of the season. We ended up beating them, even though Tottenham gave us a hell of a game and almost contributed to Arsenal winning the league. I mean, can you imagine? But Man United managed to overcome them and win 2-1, of course. We've had great wins. We've been 3-0 down against Tottenham at halftime, and then Alex Ferguson went in the dressing room and he said, listen, guys, it's Tottenham. And then we come out and we win 5-3. I remember those days, guys, absolutely. There's some great memories in regards to Tottenham against Man United. Share with me some of your memories. Let me know some of your memories in regards to the game. Tell me some of your memories in regards to the games that we played against Tottenham, of course, which is still a very big game, to be honest with you. Now, things are a little bit different now. We haven't had the rub of the green when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur. We've been unlucky and we've been downright poor sometimes as well when we played Tottenham over the last, I'd say, 15 years or so. We haven't been very good against Tottenham, and it is a bit surprising, isn't it, at the end of the day, that we haven't been as good as we should be against Tottenham Hotspur. And they have stolen a march on us. They got more confidence against us, etc. And to be honest with you, we need to rekindle that. We need to get back the confidence that we had in the past against Tottenham, and beating them on Saturday would mark a fantastic few weeks for Manchester United. That would be 5 games in 6 that we have won, 6 unbeaten, of course. Fantastic. And we move on to the international break. And then after the international break, we've got a relatively more easier task in regards to games that we're going to be playing, of course, guys. So looking forward to it. Let me know what your predictions are. I'm going to give you my predictions are. My team is here on I don't know what is on my left or your left, but the team is there anyway, guys. That is what I think that Ruben Amorim will pick. It's not what I think he will pick. That is what I think Ruben Amorim will pick for this game, in my humblest of opinions, guys. Let me know how you feel about that team. I don't think you can go much wrong with this. I don't think you can go far with this. You can't go that much. I don't think Mason Mount will be brought into the team simply for the fact that he's not match fit, in my opinion. He's not match fit. Although, you know, Ruben Amorim does have a knack of surprising us, doesn't he, at the end of the day when it comes to these games, of course, guys. So we're going to have to see what happens in the game. One thing about Ruben Amorim is definitely not predictable sometimes. The only thing is there's a couple of players there that he relatively is predictable. I do think that Dalot will be dropped for this game. I think he's going to be dropped for this game. I think he needs to be dropped for this game. I think Dorgu needs to come into that team. Absolutely. It has to be performance-based. It has to be merit in regards to performances. We have to be, be fair here. And we have to play players that are based on fairness. And if Dalot has not been playing well, which he hasn't been over the last few weeks, even in a period that we were incredibly successful, well, not incredible, we were doing well, then you know what, he needs to be dropped, Dalot, and Dorgu definitely needs to play, doesn't he? Absolutely, guys, I agree with that sentiment, of course, guys. When I look at the defense picks itself, the only thing you can argue is that Harry Maguire will be in there instead of Euro, but I just don't think so. I think we're just going to keep the same lineup, of course, guys. I think keep the Euro, De Ligt, and Luke Shaw in the middle of the pit, in the middle of the defense. Obviously, Mazraoui, I'm not too sure what's going on with Mazraoui at the moment, whether he's match fit, whether he's ready for the game, but I would like to see Mazraoui featuring at some point because Mazraoui has been an incredibly important player for us and arguably one of our best players over the last year or so, hasn't he, guys? Definitely. When you're looking at the midfield, it goes without saying, Casemiro and Fernandes. It's not going to be any different than that. Remember, this is a Ruben Amorim predicted lineup. I do think it'd be Fernandes and Casemiro in that middle of the pitch. It will be, for me, Ahmad on the right wing, and it will be Dorgu on the left wing with Cunha and Mbeumo as the number 10s, and also Sesko as the number 9, of course, guys, to play up front, of course. So, yeah, look, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think it would be much different. There might be tweaks here and there, but I don't think there's going to be much difference with the team that is on the screen right now. I don't think that there'll be much difference to that, but you know, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, it is subjective. We got different opinions about what Ruben Amorim will pick. This is not my team, of course, guys. It's not my lineup, of course, guys. This is a team that I feel that Ruben Amorim will pick, of course. So let's see what happens. Let me know what your predictions are, what your lineups are, of course, guys. But I'm going to get into some comments in regards to Ruben Amorim, what he spoke today. Ruben Amorim was on a press conference, believe it or not. He did say, Ruben Amorim asked if they are a better team since the Europa League final against Tottenham. Of course, we played Tottenham and was an embarrassing final defeat, of course. The characteristics of the players, we have different characteristics in our team, but we also have a lot of players who played last year. We are a better team. We played better and we understand the game better. So that's good news to hear. We are a better team. I like to think so. We got some different players, but as he said there, we got some of the same players that are playing now. So, but, the characteristics of the players, we have different characteristics now. So I would like to hope that we do have different characteristics, namely the goalkeeper. We've got a different goalkeeper now. So that is something that we can be happy about, of course. And obviously we've got Mbeumo and Cunha in the team as well. So that's a bit of the team. That's like almost 30% of the team, isn't it? So at the end of the day, look, there are a number of different positions in there, different players in there that can make a difference. Sesko as well, if he does indeed play, is another one, of course, that guys, that is different from the final. So we can't look at that final and to say, look, this happened in the final. This is going to happen on Saturday. Absolutely not. I'm happy about Cedric Lamens. If I'm looking at Cedric Lamens at the moment, I'm delighted that we got a capable, competent goalkeeper as well, of course. Amorim went on to say, we are more confident at this moment. We play with a different confidence. It's all about confidence. We manage better the moment of the game. But if you remember that game, they had that shot on goal and won the game. It wasn't even a shot. It was an own goal. I expect a different game. We can play better, but we also have to have a little bit of luck. Of course, we have to have a little bit of luck. But, in football, you have to make your own luck. You have to make your own luck as well. It's not just about getting luck. You have to... one thing I would say about Man United in the past, people used to say, you used to get the refereeing decisions go your way, etc., and all this nonsense. The reason that we used to get decisions go away because we played positive football and we made our own luck. We were attacking. And I've been there front row at the Stretford end and I've seen players get fouled and people say, it's not a foul, but it was a penalty. Players getting fouled and they're saying they dived. And I could see with my own eyes it wasn't a dive, but it was because we were playing attacking football, positive football, that things happen at the end of the day. Ruben Amorim went on to say, I think we are more confident. We believe more that we can win any game, and we prove already that we can win any game. Yes, we beat Liverpool. So we beat Liverpool away. So definitely we can beat Liverpool away. But this is a different game. Of course, Liverpool versus Manchester United. We all know what Liverpool against Man United is. Liverpool against Manchester United is a derby. It's a rivalry. It's going to have that. And as I said many times before the Liverpool game, Liverpool against Man United is the great equalizer. It's an equalizer because, no matter how good Man United are, no matter how good Liverpool are, we always seem to take points from each other. And that has always been like that, even in the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, because it was a rivalry. Tottenham, however, will feel buoyed. They'll feel confident. They'll feel happy. After the win against Copenhagen yesterday, they're going to feel happy and they're going to feel confident. And they're also going to feel confident against Man United because they're going to feel, well, we beat Man United 4 times last season, so we could beat them again. Let's change that narrative. Let's not feed into that narrative, and let's try and get one over them. If not, get a few over them, of course, guys, and not lose that many games again in the future against them, of course. Amorim said, the last game was tough on us because in some moments we weren't the team we were supposed to be in every minute and compete against Brighton. It was a different thing. Yeah, the difference between the Nottingham Forest game and the Brighton game, we showed us similar characteristics that we've been showing over the last year or so, few years, I would say. The characteristics, which is we don't just concede 1, we concede 2. We come in 2s. That's what we do. And our mentality was all there, was exposed for everyone to see. And that is the players' mentality, because the players, as I said, many times this season, the players can go to the Etihad and win, and can go to Emirates with 10 men and win, can go to Anfield and win, and haven't lost there in 2 years. But then they'll go against the likes of Nottingham Forest and Newcastle United and Tottenham Hotspur and Everton and Bournemouth and Wolves, and not win. And this is the problem, isn't it? And we showed characteristics, our players showed characteristics in that game, which is a defeatist mentality, a given up mentality, which I was not happy with. I mean, I was very frustrated in the game, couldn't watch the game, but I was very frustrated about the game. I'm very frustrated that after going 1-0 up, we didn't win the game. And we need to learn from that. This is the thing. You need to learn from these adversities, from these mistakes. I don't believe that some players are learning. And as Cristiano Ronaldo said in the interview with Piers Morgan, he said that, some of these players are good, but some of them are not right up here to play for Man United. And I agree with him. There are some of them that give in and throw in the towel sometimes, in my opinion. Ruben Ahmed said, we cannot forget we have a lot to improve. We are more prepared for anything to happen in a game, but we also know that we have a lot to do and improve to win more these kind of games and consistently win. Yes, this is exactly what we're talking. Just exactly what I said. Nottingham Forest, Everton, Bournemouth, Wolves. These type of games that Man United need to go into and win. We're not where we want to be yet. Absolutely not, because we showed characteristics against Nottingham Forest to suggest that we're not where we want to be, of course, guys. So what I would say is that, look, Tottenham game is a perfect game because it's not the most difficult game in the world, but it's also a game that we should be winning. You know what I mean? It's a game that we should be winning. It's a difficult game. It's not the most difficult game in the world, but it's also a game that we should be winning. It's a game that we didn't win last season. So if we win there on Saturday, you could argue that we are better now. We are better. I mean, evidently we've had some good results. We had a great result against Brighton, which marks a turn in fortunes. We've had bad luck against Brighton over the years. We had a great result against Liverpool away, which we haven't won since 2016. So that would suggest that we're getting better. But this game here, as I said this week, at the beginning of this week, the Tottenham game is a bit like a mini final for me. It's like a mini FA Cup final for me. And we win that game, we go into the international break in great spirits. And I really do hope that we do, of course. Absolutely. Let's hope that it all comes to fruition, of course. Ruben Amram also said, we are capable and confident, but sometimes struggle in games that we need to do better. And this is where mentality comes in. This is where the mentality comes in. This is where when the going gets tough, you need leaders in your team. You need those players to grab you by the shirt and say, listen, lad, look, come on. You know what I mean? And I don't think we have that. And I don't think we have that at the moment. I think it's getting better, but I just don't think we got that, that bit where you got to dig in. Sometimes it gets difficult. In the history of Man United, games have got difficult in the past. That's life. That's football. But one thing you do, you don't fold. You don't give up. You fight, because sometimes it's not all about pretty football. Sometimes it's about fighting for the badge, of course. Amron went on to say, I think we manage the game better now. We can change from the moment we are struggling. Also, because we have players who can change that for us. The individuals can help us. Yeah, look, I think it's not just about the individuals. I think it has to be about the team, and the team need to basically change whilst they're struggling. When we're struggling, when adversity strikes, that's when the going gets tough, and that's when the leaders expose themselves as leaders, and the non-leaders expose themselves as non-leaders. Do you know what I mean? So in these sort of games, when the going gets tough, when we're struggling, we need to be united. We need to fight, and we need to dig in. Sometimes you just need to dig in. Good old-fashioned tackling, good old-fashioned digging and fighting, guys. Because as I said earlier, it's just not all about the pretty football, of course. Amram also said, but if you look against Nottingham Forest, we controlled in the first half, but the energy, you could sense it was not the same. And that's something you could watch at the start of the game. Yeah, exactly. And this is exactly what we've been talking about Man United for a long time, guys. For a long time. We've been talking about Man United, Man United, basically, the energy when we go into certain games. It's just certain games that we have this negativity, this, I don't know, sometimes we go into games and you just know it's not our game. You just know we're not playing well today. You just know it, don't you? Look, for example, the Chelsea game, when we started the Chelsea game, right? Even though the Chelsea went down to 10 men, we played well from the beginning of the game. From the moment get-go, we were playing good. Brighton the same. Liverpool the same. You can tell. Arsenal were unlucky. I thought we played well against Arsenal, but Arsenal was the mistake, referee decision, etc. Arsenal were unlucky. But what I would say is that in certain games against Man City, against Brentford, we were, and against Nottingham Forest to an extent, we were not good, and you can tell that we're in that mode today. We're not playing well today, and we have these moments in games where you just think it's not our game today, and against Nottingham Forest, you just felt that we couldn't get in our rhythm, and that has not only been happening under Ruben Amorim, that's been happening after previous managers as well. We just can't seem to get in our rhythm, and it takes us a while to get into the game. If not, it takes us to concede a goal to start kicking on and start attacking, and that happened against Man City and happens at Brentford. So they've showed that these things can happen with these players, and that is pretty evident, guys. But that is obvious when you've got the likes of Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Bruno still in this football team after so many years, of course. Amorim said again, he went on to say, Ruben Amorim said on the injury record, sometimes you have problems with players with knocks. It's not something, soft tissues, and you never know what's going to happen in the next training. If you play with intensity in training, anything can happen. Yeah, look, we've been unlucky. As everyone knows that Man United have been unlucky with injuries, but this is something that we can't bring up. Obviously, every team has injuries. Of course, guys, I think we're in a relatively good place in regards to injuries this season. Of course, I think Mason Mount is the only one. Licha Martinez is those two players are the two players that are going to be missing. Mazraoui has been injured, of course, guys. He has. Yeah, absolutely. But we've been unlucky with injuries for a long time now. Injuries have been part of Man United's DNA over the last few years, haven't they? And we've been screaming out to fix that, the old medical department for quite a while now, haven't we? Amorim, but I think the big reason is one game every week. You can give an extra day to the players that that could struggle in the next training. So I think this is a big reason. In regards to players coming back, yes, and this is good, obviously, in an injury perspective, that these players can stay fit for a week. Now, look, I come from a generation, guys. I come from a generation where we won a treble, where we were playing Saturday and Wednesday and Sunday and Tuesday and Saturday and Tuesday for a long period of time. And you know what? Injuries weren't even a thought. You know what I mean? Players were limping on the pitch. So I come from that generation. So, I'm not going to start talking about injuries and stuff like that, because I know that, don't be a snowflake. Just get on with it, you know what I mean? And be strong and play for your team, of course. A big coincidence is Luke Shaw, because, the thing with Luke Shaw is that Luke Shaw has done this before. Luke Shaw has done this before. When there's a World Cup, European Championships, Luke Shaw seems to find a miraculous recovery and seems to play every single game. It's no coincidence, isn't it, at the end of the day? Well, that was some quotes from Ruben Amorim, of course, guys. Let me know what your thoughts about that, guys. Let me know. But let me just say hello to the members. Big up, Marky Mark. How you doing, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you with the community. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, mate. We will beat Tottenham. I really back Sesko to get a brace this game. Keep up the great work, Sal. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. You're an absolute diamond, my friend. And let's hope that Sesko proves all his doubters wrong, because that is what it's all about, isn't it? I know that there's a media out there, the vendetta against Sesko, isn't it? But we're going to believe in Sesko. We believe in him, and we believe he's going to be good, of course, guys. Absolutely, he's going to come good. Don't worry about that, of course. Big up, RJ. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Big up, Georges. What's going on? And happy birthday to Elliot Anderson. What is he, 23? 23 years old, I think he is. Yes. So, still very young. Great age. Great about that age, of course, is a good age and stuff like that for footballers, of course. Big up, Dave. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. In this game, I really don't care about how we play. Me neither. Just to get the win and we move on. The style of play, we'll get back to it after the international break. Look, yeah, absolutely. You can practice the style of play against in games that you can practice. You know what I mean? Everton, Bournemouth, Wolves. These sort of games, of course, guys. But, it's ultimately, it is all about the win against Tottenham. That is what it's about. It's about winning against Tottenham and moving on from there, guys. That is what it's all about, of course. Absolutely. That's my predicted lineup too. I don't see him putting Dalot in this game, maybe as a late sub. Yeah, look, it wouldn't be fair on Dorgu if Dalot plays in this game, because Dalot has been atrocious. Let's be real, guys. Even though we were winning games in a row, Diego Dalot has been atrocious, and he needs to improve tenfold before we can walk back in that team. Thank you so much, Dave. You absolute legend. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Bless up, my friend, and thank you for the likes and the subscriptions and the presents, of course, guys. Absolutely. Sal Dalot has the right mentality, I feel, but not the best footballer. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, he's a beat my chest merchant, innit? Like this, like kiss the badge merchant, that sort of guy. So what I would say is that, yeah, Dalot's got a great personality. Dalot comes in early for training. Dalot works very hard. But let me tell you this, right? Dalot works hard. Dalot comes in for training. Dalot's got a great personality. Dalot's a great professional. But he's not a very good footballer. Would you rather Dalot, who's great at all those characteristics in regards to coming early for training, professional, etc., or would you like a player that sometimes comes in late for training, it's got a bit of an attitude, is a bit of a mercenary maybe, or a bit of a prat, you know, but when he plays on the football pitch, brilliant. What would you rather? What would you rather? When he goes on that football pitch, it's like, yeah, absolutely amazing. Everyone knows, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, everyone knows that Cristiano Ronaldo has got an ego. He's got an ego, and he was a big voice in the dressing room. He was a big character in the dressing room and stuff like that. He's a big mouth in the dressing room. But we don't care about that because at the end of the day, he made things happen. He won us a Champions League and multiple league titles. It's the same with Eric Cantona. Even Sir Alex Ferguson knew how important Eric Cantona was. It's not about just professionalism. It's not about that. Cantona proved it, that he can kick someone and still have the sympathy of Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. RJ, I think we are complacent against Forest. Yeah, look, no, it's something that it's been going on for a while, guys. Now, a little bit of other comment. I just want to read one more comment. It's just come out in regards to Ruben Amorim talking about Cristiano Ronaldo's comments. He said he knows he has a huge impact on everything he says. We know as a club we made a lot of mistakes in the past. We are trying to change that. Let's not focus on what happened. We need to focus on the future. Let's focus on the way we are doing things. We are changing a lot of things. The structure, the way we want to play and to behave. We are improving. Let's forget a little bit about the past. And that is what Ruben Amorim said in response to Cristiano Ronaldo. And I have to agree. I really don't think Cristiano Ronaldo is keeping an eye on Man United at the moment. I don't think he is. And there's some things he said that I think, yeah, he ain't really watching us, is he? Look, at the end of the day. But some things that Cristiano Ronaldo said were absolute gospel, absolute truth. I'm not going to say everything he said. However, I still have a bit of a nasty feeling about Piers Morgan and stuff like that. When I say I want us to be a serious community, I mean the backing and believing in the team that said that United win 2-1. We're a very serious community here, Dave. Yes. And we always believe in Man United. We always believe Man United are going to win. We've been around a while, Dave. So, you know, one thing I would say is that, yeah, we've had some people in the channel that are just crazy. We've had great people like yourself, Dave. We've had good people who have great footballing knowledge and good footballing opinions. We've had some good people, we've had some bad people, and bad people dropped off. And I would love us to be a great community and an ever-thriving community of which continues to grow. And that is what the most important thing is for me. We continue to grow as a community. I say that the score, guys, what is the score going to be in this game? I hear you cry. I think the game is going to be Manchester United 2. Tottenham Hotspur 1. Just like Dave said there, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester United. I think Man United will be a tight game, but I think Man United will win the game. I think Man United will go like 2-0 up and then win the game 2-1. So my prediction is 2-1 to Manchester United, guys. Let me know what your scores are. Let me know what you think, guys. That is my score, of course. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Sal. I'm confident we can win this game. Me too, Ephraim. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Sal, what is your prediction? 2-1, as I just said. Gary Neville has been criticising Benjamin Sesko. Gary Neville, I know what Gary Neville's doing. Look, part of me feels like, yeah, some things that Gary Neville says may be true, but at the end of the day, I honestly think that they're not watching the game, because at the end of the day, Benjamin Sesko has contributed to a few goals this season, scored 2, and I think he's been responsible for 2 as well. So that's 2 assists and two goals. We all saw the Chelsea game. He was a big part of us winning that Chelsea game. Do you know what I mean? When he done that little flick on for Mbeumo to go through in the foul one from Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Then you look at the game against Brighton, and that assist was absolutely well cast. I just think that people just have a narrative, and they just want to focus on that narrative, and they don't want to concentrate on anything else. Look, I respect opinions. I respect Gary Neville's opinion. Gary Neville is a legend, Hall of Famer. I don't know why he's in there before Ryan Giggs, but anyway, Hall of Famer. Okay, I respect him. He's a legend at Man United. But one thing I want to see is balance here. I want to see a balanced opinion. I don't want to see just the typical opinion from Gary Neville, which is continually harming and slandering our players because he keeps doing it. Why don't he talk about Isaac? Why don't he talk about Florian Wirtz? Why don't he talk about your carers? Why don't he talk about those players who have been flattering to deceive and arguably been worse than Sesko, of course? Absolutely. Absolutely. Diego Dalot would suit footy Judge Mo Inter Milan team. Samuel. Big up Judge Mo, by the way. Look, you know what? I would say that, yeah, look, Judge Mo's an Inter Milan fan. I know, you know what I mean? It's not easy being an Inter Milan fan sometimes. I know they just beat Carity or something. I don't know what they beat. Is Cavity, Tooth Cavity. I don't know whatever the team's name is. I don't know. Tooth Cavity they beat. I don't know. Sponsored by Colgate. You know, I don't know who they played, but you know what? At the end of the day, the Champions League is full of some tut, isn't it? At the end of the day, but what I would say is that, yeah, look, you know, he would just like Darmian. Darmian went to Inter Milan and he became an absolute superstar, didn't he? At the end of the day, he wasn't good enough for Man United, but he went to Inter Milan and he became an absolute superstar, didn't he? Yeah, Darmian, obviously, it was a difficult time. You know, we were under Jose Mourinho and it was very boring start of football, if I'm being honest. I can never forget when I was going to games when Jose Mourinho was manager of Man United. And I remember one time, I usually sit on the Stretford end, but one time I was standing on the south stand next to the bench. Had bench tickets right next to the bench. And on the bench was Mata and all these players and stuff like that. And I remember something happened during the game. I think it was Lukaku. He didn't control the ball or something like that, right? And then Jose Mourinho turned around to the bench. He said, "You see what I mean? You see what I mean?" Just toxic all around the whole thing, of course, guys. So it was a very difficult period at that time. The one thing I rate Jose Mourinho of is the fact that he called out the owners, and that which was great, of course, guys. Absolutely. But we're focusing on Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur. Hotspur, who's that? Of course, we don't know. We're still searching, archaeologists and all that. We don't know who Hotspur are. But this is my lineup for the game, guys. I hope you like the lineup. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your scores are, etc., etc. RJ, Sal, I don't know why, but I just feel United are coming back. Weird feeling. There's no weird feeling. It's a good feeling to have. It's a great feeling to have. I don't think it's weird. I think Man United are a sleeping giant. Man United are going to be back. They're going to be one day. Man United will be back to the promised land where we belong, guys. Don't worry about that. We'll be back to the top of the tree where we belong, guys. Absolutely. Don't worry about that. It's coming. Soon come, guys. Soon come. Marky Mark. We need better pundits that actually support Man United. Sad to see our own talking about us. Let's change the narrative. You know what? I don't know what it is, to be honest, Marky Mark. I don't know whether they don't want Man United to be successful because it will somehow damage their legacy. I don't know whether they just want negativity around Man United because, you know what, it brings clicks. And one thing that stuck out in my head, Marky Mark, was Simon Jordan, believe it or not. Simon Jordan spoke on TalkSport and they were talking about Man United and they were saying that, look, even when Man United are in a bad way, Man United are the conversation. Man United are the topic of the day. Even when the Champions League is on, right? I remember a few weeks ago, I was watching the Champions League and there was all these great big games on. And then there was the biggest thing, the most viewed thing on the Champions League was an interview of Ruben Amorim. And we're not even in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? And Simon Jordan was right. Man United will always be the topic of a discussion and they will always get clicks. And what gets clicks the most? Negativity, because there's a lot of hatred around Man United. A lot of people don't like Man United. You know, some Man United fans don't like Man United. This is the problem, isn't it, at the end of the day? And this is what I say. This is why they give these very negative narratives about our players and about Man United and Ruben Amorim, etc., because they know that gets clicks. They love it. And they've seen what goes on in social media. They've seen what happens in social media when you talk about Man United. It just goes off. It goes boom, doesn't it, at the end of the day, guys? Absolutely. Samuel, would Jed Spence be a good replacement for Diego Dalot? Absolutely, yes. Jed Spence is a fantastic player. Attitude is a bit funny, but he is a fantastic player. Sal, what is the Forbes like Barca defense? Player Forbes killed Barca defense. Absolutely. Big up, Dave. Sesko has shown his promise. Don't know why they would mention him in Hoyland conversations. He does need to bag goals for now, but I back him since it's such a thing. Look, at the end of the day, let me just tell you something, Dave. Dave, since Sesko made his debut, Sesko has not been a prolific goal scorer. At Leipzig, he was not a prolific goal scorer. Salzburg, he was not a prolific goal scorer. He's never been a prolific goal scorer. What Sesko has been, he's been a scorer of great goals. He scored some great goals for Leipzig, etc. But what Sesko has been is a model professional, someone who makes things happen, someone who can hold up the ball, bring players into play, etc., etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So one thing about Benjamin Sesko is that, you know, he's not just a goal scorer. He's an all-round player. And I think this is the problem. We live in the stats generation. And as Jose Mourinho said, people who analyze football with stats don't know about football. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Now, I look at Sesko and I can see a good player there. I can see he makes a difference in the game occasionally. He's young. He's gonna drift off sometimes. He's gonna have bad moments in games. Of course he is. He's young. He's never played in the Premier League before. So we have to understand that. We have to give him a little bit of time. This is exactly what happened with Rasmus Højlund. But Rasmus Højlund is at Napoli. Napoli is a different league. Napoli is an easier league. It's easier to score at Napoli. Look at McTominay, for goodness sake, how many goals this guy has scored. Do you know what I mean? It's just like people just want to paint him with this brush and just want to downplay him because a lot of them are Arsenal fans. Some of them are Arsenal fans. They wanted to prove that Gyökeres was the better signing and stuff like that, of course, which is crazy at the end of the day. Sal, hope they change it to 7 Premier League max or Champions League. It'd be 5 maximum, mate. David Beckham should help United to buy UAE to buy Manchester United from the greedy Glazers. I wish he did. Can't even look after his local club, Leyton Orient, at the moment, but there you go. Højlund became so bad, so I don't ever want him back. He wasn't that bad, mate. You got to look at it in context. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't bad at all. It's just that he weren't scoring goals, and we weren't passing the ball to him, and this is what's happening right now with Man United. Do you think we should pick up Guri? I think we should, but I think Liverpool have got a big chance of still signing Guri. Obviously, Guri and Liverpool have already got that relationship there from the summer, of course, guys. Absolutely. Bigger Sal, do you agree with that teams that drew 0-0 should both get 0 points? No. Why? No, because what's the point of playing then? What's the point of playing then? Who said that nonsense? What's the point of playing if you can't get a draw and get a point at least? There's no point playing. It's ridiculous. My goodness me. Samuel, hopefully Manchester United beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-0. That'd be lovely, Samuel. Sal, bashing United is easy news for these guys. I think that is, as fans, we should mute it or totally ignore the nonsense because it's just mostly a rage bait, absolutely, and they just say it to get tractions. But this is exactly what I was talking about, Dave, about the so-called fans that want Man United to lose so they can be justified, so they can come out there and say, I told you so. The told you so brigade. This is exactly, Dave, what I was talking about the other day. It's exactly what I'm saying. Everyone has a right to opinion about everything, especially in football. Man United, ultimately, we want what's best for Man United. And we all feel we have our own ideas what will be good for Man United, what will make Man United better. But there are people out there that want negative opinions, that want Man United to lose and claim to be Man United fans, so that they could be proven right. You know what I mean? So they can get clicks and narratives and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up SLD. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're doing blessed. Jared Breke must have been dropped on his head. He must have been dropped on his head. Big up, Stephanie. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Hope you're blessed, Stephanie. Hope everything is good with you, of course. Absolutely. Look, guys, I've never seen such a ridiculous comment. I mean, come on. 0 points for a 0-0. My goodness me. Goodness me. What the hell? PK is on crack, or should have been faithful to Shakira. I mean, yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's exactly where his mentality is right now. Maybe it's made him go a little bit dun-dun. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But yeah, look, you know, that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, imagine drawing 0-0. Damn, we're not even going to get a point. Done. You know what I mean? So how's that fair? Because then again, you could draw 3-3 and would you get a point or you get 3 points? So if you draw 0-0, you get 0 points. If you draw 3-3, you get 3 points. So if you draw 4-4, you get 4 points. So you get 4 points for drawing 4-4. So you get more points than you win. If you win 1-0, you get what? 4 points. The same. How does it work? I want to know how it works, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Absolutely do. Absolutely. Yes, guys. Tomorrow is 24 hours before the game. It's one sleep before game day, of course, guys. And I want to get that bitter taste about the Nottingham Forest out of my mouth. It's been in there all week, of course. And I want to beat Tottenham, and we can move on from there and move on to that international break. I mean, we're all looking forward to the international break, ain't we? Everyone's excited about this international break. Everyone's happy about the international break. Not said nobody ever, of course, guys. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, we need to cut across more the Sesko. Absolutely. We do. Make crosses famous again. Make crosses good again. That's what we need, absolutely. Samuel, my friend Andy, who supports Crystal Palace, wants between 80 and 100 million for Mark Gui from Liverpool in the next transfer window. Mark Gui, sorry. Let me just tell your friend, Samuel, that Mark Gui will be a free transfer at the end of the season. A free transfer, mate. Just to let you know, Samuel, sorry to burst the bubble, but in 2026, if you're giving Mark Gui 80 million when he's a free transfer, you are mad. You off your head. You must have bumped your head. Again, you know what I mean? You must have fell down and bumped your head. Absolutely. No one he's a free transfer at the end of the season. He hasn't signed a new contract. Sal, thoughts on Lamens? Will he be missing link to help us hold up? I hope so, mate. I think it helps. It helps. There are still a couple of bozos in our team at the moment that we need to worry about, of course. But I do believe that Man United are in a much better position with sending Lamens in the team. And also in Bremer and Cunha, I think they make a huge amount of difference. And I think they put pressure on the opposition team. Absolutely. Like the opposition team has to worry about us all the time because we got Bremer and we got Cunha up there, of course. Dorgal can cross. He should keep it doing it. Absolutely. It just needs to, just practice and he'll get good at it. Don't worry about that. So Liverpool fans booing Trent. Why? Because Liverpool fans are what they are at the end of the day. Liverpool fans have never got any class at the end of the day. And anyone thinks they've got any class is ridiculous because at the end of the day, that player, Trent Alexander-Arnold, gave his best years at the football club. He went on a free transfer. So what if he run down his contract? He's played his best years at Liverpool. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, I'm not being funny, but you know when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp was a big character at Liverpool, and some of those players didn't want to play under Arne Slot. That's just the way it is. Arne Slot is an arrogant guy. You know what I mean? He's arrogant, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lose at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Stephanie. If United score first, we'll win. We will be fine against Spurs. Draw at worst, but long overdue a win. I am manifesting a funeral. Come on, Stephanie. I would love that. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Amina. What's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? Good afternoon, Sal. It's me, Wesley. Big up, Wesley. Why is your name Amina all of a sudden? You got Amina Wesley? Amina Wesley? All right, no worries. Big up, Wesley. Hope you're doing well. Dave, Sal, that's been the Palace hierarchy one. They mentioned that if he is to leave in January, we will have to be for a substantial fee. Otherwise, we'll be ready to lose him for free. Let them lose him for free. No one's going to be paying him. You have to fall down and bump your head. If you're going to play 80, 90 million for a player that's going to be a free transfer in the summer, you must have fell down and bumped your head. Absolutely. Definitely, guys, because no way are we going to be spending any money when he's on a free transfer. We'll just agree a pre-agreement with him. In particular, the Spurs fixture last year, it was a GK goal. Yeah, absolutely. Just hopefully that changes now. Absolutely. I hope Trent comes to us, Sal. No, I'm not like, no, RJ, stop it, mate. Stop it. If you understand what Man United are, if you know what Man United are all about, you would never say something like that, mate. If you understand what Man United are about, if you understand this football club, you would not even come out your mouth. Now, before I stop reading your comments, RJ, do not ever say things like that. You understand? Get a book, one of these ones preferably, Alex Ferguson. Get a book, read it, and then come back to me. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how Trent Alexander-Arnold's fallen out with Man United. We don't sign Liverpool players, Liverpool legends, scousers like that, of course. Absolutely not. My goodness me. What is going on here? 14 likes. Guys, come on, guys. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes. Got 20 in the house. Only 20 in the house, guys. You guys, you've got to come for Chatterbox. You guys are the legends, the ones who come from Chatterbox. Of course, guys, really appreciate you. Of course. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. We need to get to 50 likes today, guys. Come on, guys. I know it's the match preview. Football's not just about transfers. We need to talk about the game as well. So come on, guys. Smash those likes, of course. Samuel, I would like to see Seko Kone, Shea Lacey be given their debut sometime soon. You never know, Samuel. We'll have to wait and see. I'd like to see Shea Lacey given an opportunity. I think we're going to be fine in the midfield. Obviously, we've got Mainoo, we've got Bruno, we've got Casemiro, we've got Ugarte. We're going to be fine. But so Kone might come on the bench and stuff like that. But in regards to Shea Lacey, he can play in that position that Bremo's going to be leaving void in the AFCON, isn't it? So, you know what I mean? Wise fine, no problem. Wesley, good to see you, mate. No problem. Sal, Liverpool say we are class. Is it class booing Trent? It's not class, mate. No, because we don't do the same. Because at the end of the day, he gave a lot of his career to Liverpool. He gave his best years of his career to Liverpool. So it is classless. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Trent thing. Schmeichel changed club to City. Keane gave him the coldest shoulder I've ever seen. I expected tomatoes to be thrown at Trent. No, that's not how it works, mate. That's not how it works. Peter Schmeichel didn't run. Didn't look, at the end of the day. Peter Schmeichel's a legend at Man United. Man City were not even a team back then. At the end of the day, he threw tomatoes at him because he went to Real Madrid. There's a difference between going to Real Madrid and going to your arch rivals. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. Schmeichel went to Man City. Real Madrid are not Liverpool's arch enemy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, his contract ran out. He wanted to play in Spain. Beckham went to Spain. You know what I mean? Van Nistelrooy went to Spain. Cole left, went to Blackburn. You know, this happens at the end of the day. You don't do that. That's not how it works, Charlie. I don't know whether you're not from England. You don't understand what the culture is at England and that, but we don't do that at Man United. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't do that. We don't at the end of the day. And Liverpool booing him is classless because he's born in Liverpool. He's born and bred Liverpool Scouser, and he deserves his respect because he's played a long time and won the league with them. The first league title in how many years? 30 years. 30 years he won with them. It's classless, in my opinion. Absolutely. And there's a difference between Real Madrid and Man City. Schmeichel went to Man City. They are rivals. So I heard Anderson wants Manchester United move. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Happy birthday to him, by the way. Sorry, Sal. No problem, mate. Good day, everyone. I hope you're having a nice day. Big up, Yale. We got to prove that, man. We got to improve that comment. My goodness me. Sal, that Europa League final loss to Tottenham was the worst feeling I have had from the last season. And I think Amarim and the players who played in that final will want to beat Tottenham even more 2-1. I mean, I hope so. I would like to think so, Dan. Dan, big up, Dan. I would like to think so. I would like to think that they've got that game on their mind. I really do. I would like to think that. I hope Van Dijk and Salah Ahmed Alisson come to United. What are you talking about, SLD? What are you talking about, mate? Do you understand the rivalry between Man United and Liverpool? My goodness me. I hope Van Dijk, VVD, and Salah and Alisson come to Man United. What the hell is that? Are you joking, SLD? Are you on crack, mate? Are you smoking that pot? Have you been bumped on your head? Have you fallen down and bumped your head? Guys, I don't know whether this is Dum Man United Day. I don't know whether it's my first Man United lesson day, but we don't do that at Man United. We don't have Liverpool players and beg for Liverpool players, mate. That's not how the history works, my friend. Absolutely not. That's not happened, guys. My first Man United versus Liverpool rivalry book, I think I'm going to be writing one of those very soon, and I will send it out to everyone, guys. I'll definitely will. I'll send it out to everyone free of charge. Absolutely. My first Man United versus Liverpool rivalry breakdown. Of course, guys, that's what I'm going to do to you guys. Absolutely, because we don't want to hear about Van Alisson and Salah when we've got our own Membremo and we got Lemens. We don't want to hear about it. We've already beaten them this season. Why the hell would we want those duds? Why the hell would we want those bums? Why do we want them at Man United when we've already beaten them this season? Of course we have, and they're finished. We've got the future. We've got the future players coming through at Man United. Absolutely. We don't need any bums at our team. Absolutely not. Rams, what's going on, my friend? Seko just come back from injury, so he might take longer. I agree. Yes, he's just come back under a youth training, of course. Wesley, should I say? You're confusing me. Guys, a trip to London going to be difficult if we score first. What is the must? We will win. We're not been doing well in London recently, so Man United, we need to change the record, definitely, in regards to that. Big up RJ, big up United, big up RJ. Talking of books, I purchased a copy of Patrice Evra's book the other day. I love this game. I might buy that, actually. I haven't read that. I saw on the overlap, I saw Roy Keane's book. I still haven't read Roy Keane's book. I'm going to read Roy Keane's book. I read all Fergie's books. I've read Beckham's book. I read Gary Neville's book. Paul Scholes got a book, picture book. He has. Absolutely. Frank, we'll set them up to play fossil football again when the chances we should finish our dinner, since these guys could have easily conceded 4 goals against Chelsea. Yeah, the problem is, though, Dave, is that we need to prove that we can play against the low block again, because over the last year or so, I think even longer than that, we haven't been good in the low block, and it would be great to change that narrative. It really would, and beat them. I mean, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Absolutely. I know SLD's pissing around with me because that comment, my goodness me, I must have dumbed down 1,000 times, mate. My goodness me. I must have went down. You know what? You know that this, I mean, listen to me. I know you're joking, but you know what I mean? It just, I looked at it. No jokes. Do you think that Hungary Maguire, will sign a new contract? Probably. He's just trolling. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So am I, Dave. You can't see my dark sense of humor, can you? You can't see my dark sense of humor. So am I. You see, at the end of the day, you can't see my dark sense of humor. It's reckless delegation, humor, Sal. I know. I'm part of that. I'm part of that. I know. You can't. This is Stretford Post personality. You don't even mention that out of your lips. For me, it's a bit like bigotry. It's a bit like you don't even mention that. It's like we don't say those things around here. You know what I mean? We don't say those things around here. Absolutely. Yale, it's rare we get players from our rivals. This is no joke thing in this channel, by the way. All due respect to KG, but I'm a proper Man United fan historically. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not here for banter. I laugh and all that, but I'm not here for banter. Sorry, KG, but I am a legacy supporter. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't come on my channel and say I hope we lose just to prove a point. Sorry, bruv. Just the way it is. Rams, get in, my friend. Big up, my friend. Big up. Big up. SLD, Liverpool 1, Man United. See ya. Big up, Dan. Absolutely. He's joking. Yeah, he's joking. I knew it anyway, but I know SLD. I've known SLD for a long time, so don't worry about it. Vicario isn't a good goalkeeper. He played, yeah. He's only a good goalkeeper against Manchester United. That's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's only a good goalkeeper against Man United. Look, guys, yeah, I know he's joking. I know. We're always joking. I'm always bantering on this channel anyway. You know what I mean? I know what a sarcasm. I got a dark sense of humor. That's me. Take it with a pinch of salt. That's what I do at the end of the day. But one thing I got disappointed with. I got disappointed with KG because I like KG. You know, he said that I hope we lose. You know, and that was a horrible thing to say. You know, and I never in my life have I ever said that about my football team. Never. You know, even if us winning meant our rivals winning the league, I'll still say that. I would never say that I hope we lose. This football club comes from a historic history. It's, you know, the 1968 and stuff like that. And 1958, should I say, the Munich disaster, 1968 European Cup final, relegation, 1974 and stuff like that. This is what this football club comes to. And we don't need banter. We don't need that flex thing. You know what I mean? Flex. You know what I mean? Where I'm not wrong, even though you've been proven wrong, mate. I'm not wrong. You know me. No, he's changed it. He's changed it. He hasn't changed it at all. Absolutely not. He's just, yeah. And that's the way we don't do things like that. You know what I mean? On this channel, we have a laugh, we have a banter, but never in my life will I ever say, I hope Man United lose a game just so that I can be proven wrong. Right, should I say. Never. And that's a sad thing. Isn't it? Daryl. Yo, Sal, my bro, never want any Liverpool players. Drop me out. We get a bit better players in there. You've absolutely. There you go. Have that, SLD. Have that, mate. Amina. Wesley. Sal, we should leave Harry for the end of the season. Then we let him go and get Ignacio from Sporting. Ignacio. You spelled it in a very long way. You spelled it like he's Greek. Ignacio. Ignacio. From Sporting, my back of three will be Delict and Ignacio. Ignacio is very easy to spell. Inacio. There you go, Wesley. Big up my guy. LT. Joking as usual, banter. Cool. There you go. Big up Sal. I also agree with the lineup, but I think he's going to play Dalot again. I got a feeling as well, LT. I have to agree with you. But this is clearly his preferred 11, and Spurs owes us because we have bad record against them recently. Big up SLD, by the way. SLD is one of the originals of Stretford Post, by the way. I just want to mention that to everyone, right? He's one of the guys that has been there from day. He's there on all the channels. He's there. He's a legend in his own right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Samuel, Ben and Sim from We Are Tottenham TV believe Christian and Romero is in the top 10 centre-backs in the Premier League. I think I agree with him. I think Van der Ven... the one thing about Tottenham, guys... let me just say about Tottenham. The one thing I'll say about Tottenham is that Tottenham have two very, very good centre-backs. That's one thing I will say. Van der Ven and Romero. Very good. In the top 10... maybe 9 or 10. 9 or 10, maybe. It will be, of course. Sal, why is Amaran playing Dalot instead of Dorgu? I mean, I don't know, mate. Maybe it's because it's the Ishtabem Obligado, my brother, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? If you know, you know. Absolutely. I hope we lose. I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Madness, isn't it? Absolutely. Jale, that day I stopped watching KG place, actually. I never wanted United to lose anyway. I want the club to win. Look, I got a lot of respect for KG. Look, you know, at the end of the day, he's a guy that, look, I've been supporting this football club 40 years, and it hurts when people say those sort of things, because no matter if you like the manager, whether it fits your agenda, whether it fits your opinion or not, everyone has a right to an opinion. That's absolutely fine. But never, never, never in a million years on Sunday, even if I was put on Judgment Day, you better say Man United are going to lose or you shall be off with your head. I will say, I'm not going to say Man United are going to lose. No chance at all. Like, I'm not going to say I hope Man United lose. No chance at all. Because at the end of the day, the Man United is what I was brought on, raised on. I was raised on this football club, and this is a big part of my life. Do you know what I mean? But I respect KG, what he does and everything like that. Vicario really annoys me. He seems to turn up against us. That's why we need to batter them or win on Sunday. Yeah, look, that's what we mean. I mean, do you remember that save against Garnacho a few years ago? That incredible save that he did. Yeah, unbelievable. Turns into prime Oliver Kahn at a flip of a sixpence. Flip of a sixpence, of course. Sal, I've been seeing that Mainu is really set on moving on loan in January. With that said, if we lose him, Xerxes and the likes of Ahmad and Mbeumo going to AFCON. Xerxes plays for Holland, my guy. Which players will possibly replace them? Xerxes plays for Holland, my guy. Again, but if we don't sign anyone, Dave, I would move Mainu into. I mean, Mainu, you're saying he's going to go on loan. He might not, but we would have to play a double pivot. We'll have to play Bruno as a number 10, and we'll play Casemiro and Ugarte in the middle at the end of the day, unless we bring through Shea Lacey, unless we bring through a youth team. However, I do believe that Man United will sign a couple of players. I do believe it. I do, absolutely. Sal, my son saw you now on YouTube. He wants to phone you. Tell him that I don't have a phone. My phone is dead. Anyway, no one can call me anyway. I'm in the UAE. It'll cost an arm and a leg, my guy. Cost my arm and a leg. But big up your son. What's your son's name? Big up your son. Good to see you. Support Man United. Look into my eyes, not around the eyes, into my eyes. Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. Look in the eyes. Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. That's what it's all about. Absolutely. Sal, would you take Leveramento? Absolutely not. I wouldn't take Vimto, let alone Leveramento. No. No. Squad depth, maybe. Dodo, what's going on? Madonna, Donna, just Donna, isn't it? At the end of the day, what's going on? Sal, if you were a football manager, would you have a favored fellow Italians? If you were a football manager, yes. If I was in the 90s, Italian football was the best, of course. You know, definitely. You know what I mean, Donna? I would have Del Piero, Roberto Baggio in there, Costa Curta in there, Ambrosini in there, Nesta in there, Cannavaro in there, Paolo Maldini in there, of course, Peruzzi maybe in there, Paliuca maybe in goal, I don't know, maybe he will be in goal, Gianfranco Zola, Casaraghi, Vialli. Should we go on? Should we go on? Absolutely, I would. SLD, absolutely, big up SLD. I'd rather win games and change the manager end of the season than to lose and get manager sacked. Believe. Thank you, SLD. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Banter aside, never want your football team to lose. Never want your football team to lose. Never. Everyone can have an opinion about the manager. But when it comes to match day, you are supporting Manchester United with chest. With chest. You support Manchester United with chest. That's what you do. I'll be happy to go on KG's channel if he ever invites me on his channel, and I'll have a good chat about it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, I've been in the industry like him. I was in the music industry 20 years. I've been on Channel 4. I've been on Dubplate Drama. I've done things like him. I've got a similar road like he has, of course, and I admire his work ethic and I admire what he's achieved. Absolutely. But never are we going to want Man United to lose. Absolutely not. Hell nah. Hell to no. We need to win to get Champions League spot. Absolutely, Wesley. Manchester United nickname is the Heavens. The Heavens. Man United's nickname is the Red Devils. Man United's nickname used to be, our name used to be Newton Heath, by the way. Newton Heath used to be the name, guys. Now, guys, my prediction for Man United against Tottenham is 2-1 to Man United, of course, guys. Kono, definitely, man. Big up Daryl. Big up my friend. Holland don't produce strikers they used to. No, nobody does. Italy, Holland, even England. When you think about it, look at it. Look at the pool of talent that England used to have. Andy Cole, Stan Collymore, Alan Shearer, Robbie Fowler, Teddy Sheringham. You know what I mean? What's going on there? You know, yeah, Les Ferdinand, Ian Wright. You know, Johnny, I'm worried that Dalot is going to start once again. To be honest, I will probably keep predicting Dalot to start until he gets benched. I think you're right, Johnny. I think he will. I think he will start. For me, fans who make opinions only based on results and not context of the situation are not real fans, especially content creators, because all they do is overreact for every single result. Yeah, I've called them out. I've made videos about them. I am not bothered about it. I will call them out again and again and again, and they are welcome to come on this channel. And I will teach them the birds and the bees about this great club called Manchester United, about the history, about Manchester United. Don't mean to sound smug or arrogant, but I will. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, none of us ever want Man United to lose. I don't care. You know what I mean? We can have the Antichrist in charge of Man United. I would not want Man United to lose at the end of the day, guys. RJ, so I can't hide it anymore. I really feel we're going to win. Big up, RJ. Big up. Is Amram really related to Dalot? I had a feeling. It doesn't matter. It's clickbait, mate. This shows you, SLD. Even if he is distantly, we all related. We're related distantly. We're all related. But this just shows you that there is no news. Was it Luckhurst who made that claim? Wasn't it Luckhurst? This just shows you there's no news at all. You know what I mean? They're just making up crap. You know, man like Sal, man like Cengiz. What's going on, my friend? Legend, that is Cengiz, of course. Sweden's probably the most recent country to produce quality strikers. Yeah, most likely, yes. Norway, Haaland. A shame. Sounds like Erik ten Hag is out of the race to become the Wolfsman. But Ajax are trying to get him back. Yeah, I think he should go back to Ajax and reignite his career, of course, guys. Absolutely, guys. I want to say thank you to all the community. I want to say thank you to everyone lurking in the shadows, everyone who's written comments, everyone who's bantered me today, everyone who said nice comments, everyone who said great educational comments too. Thank you so much. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And don't forget to smash a like on the video. Big up SLD, you absolute legend, by the way. And guys, don't forget, I'm back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, early morning, Breaking Dawning, every single morning, of course, guys. But I appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate all your comments. I appreciate all your likes and all your love and stuff like that, guys. Really appreciate it, guys. Absolutely. Cengiz, a United fan never wants Liverpool to win, even against City. No, I don't. I would rather... I was going to say something sinister then, but I'm not going to say it. Big up, Sal. Have a great night. Big up yourself, everyone. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Much love to you all. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. And guys, glory, Man United. Let's bring it on. Guys, we are 2 sleeps away from the game against Tottenham. Let's do this, guys. We're going to win it. We're going to do this. Take it easy, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.